Not because of the air conditioning, but because of the silence that filled it, the kind that carries tension and judgment, not peace. Reporters filled the benches, cameras waited outside, and everyone's eyes were fixed on the wooden doors that would soon open to bring in a child, a 12-year-old boy named Eli Thompson. It wasn't supposed to be a big case. Just another incident between police officers and a young boy in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time. That's what the papers had called it, an unfortunate misunderstanding. But what happened wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a moment that exposed the heart of a broken system, and it began with 3 simple words. The cops beat me. When Eli entered, his small frame looked lost in the oversized courthouse. His mother, Grace, held his hand tightly, whispering, "Just tell the truth, sweetheart. No one can take that from you." Her voice trembled, but her eyes burned with quiet strength, the kind only mothers have when their child has suffered too much. Across the room sat the 3 officers, uniformed, confident, surrounded by lawyers. They whispered among themselves as if this was just another routine hearing. Judge Reynolds adjusted his glasses and cleared his throat. Court is now in session. We are here to hear the testimony of Eli Thompson, age 12. Eli climbed onto the witness chair, his feet barely touching the footrest. The bailiff handed him a small Bible. "Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?" Eli nodded. "Yes, sir." The courtroom waited. Cameras clicked softly. The city held its breath. The prosecutor, a woman with kind eyes, approached first. "Eli, can you tell us what happened on the night of April 7th? He swallowed hard. His voice came out thin, trembling. "I was walking home from the youth center. My backpack broke, so I was carrying it in my arms. It was raining." He paused, glancing nervously toward the officers. The judge nodded reassuringly. "Take your time, son." "I saw the police car pull over," Eli continued. "They shouted for me to stop. I did. I told them I was going home, but one of them grabbed me. I dropped my bag and my notebook fell out. They asked if I was stealing something. I said no, it was my homework." His lip trembled. "Then one of them pushed me down. I told them I didn't do anything, but they hit me anyway." His mother closed her eyes. A quiet sob came from someone in the back. Eli's small hands clenched the edge of the seat. "They said I was lying. They said I shouldn't be out that late. They kept asking who I was working for. But I don't work for anyone." The prosecutor's voice was gentle. "What did you say when they asked that?" "I told them I wanted to be a police officer one day," he said quietly, "so I could make people feel safe. But they just laughed. A pin could have dropped in that courtroom and everyone would have heard it. Even the officers shifted uncomfortably. Then came the defense attorney, smooth, confident, expensive suit. He smiled the kind of smile that hides sharpness. "Eli, it was dark that night, wasn't it?" "Yes, sir." "And you were wearing a black hoodie?" "Yes, sir." "So maybe they couldn't tell who you were. Maybe they thought you were dangerous." Eli looked confused. "I'm 12. The attorney's smile faltered. "Well, perhaps you were running and they thought—" "I wasn't running," Eli interrupted softly. "I was walking. I stopped when they asked. I did everything right." "And yet you were hurt," the lawyer said. "Yes." "Maybe you fell." Eli shook his head. "No, sir. They threw me down. I remember their boots. I remember the ground. I remember praying they'd stop." His voice cracked. "And I remember one of them saying, 'You fit the description.'" The judge leaned forward. "The description of what, Mr. Thompson?" Eli blinked, tears spilling over. "A suspect who stole from a store. But I was just walking home from tutoring. I had a math book in my bag." The prosecutor placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "It's okay, Eli." Then, just as everyone thought it was over, Eli looked at the judge and said softly, "Can I say something else?" The judge nodded. "Go ahead." Eli took a deep breath. "I forgive them." The words hit the room like thunder in the quiet. Even the reporters lowered their cameras. The judge looked startled. "You do forgive them?" "Yes, sir. My mom says if I carry hate, it'll break me inside. I don't want to be broken. I just want people to know I didn't do anything wrong." Grace's tears fell silently. The judge sat back, speechless. For a moment, the courtroom wasn't about guilt or innocence. It was about a small boy's grace. But then something unexpected happened. One of the officers, the youngest, Officer Daniels, suddenly stood up. His face was pale, hands shaking. "Your Honor." "I can't do this anymore," his lawyer hissed. "Sit down!" But Daniels ignored him. "He's telling the truth." Gasps echoed through the courtroom. Daniels continued, voice breaking. "We were supposed to patrol that area. When we saw him, I told my partners to leave the kid alone, but they didn't listen. They dragged him down, and when I tried to stop them, they told me to shut up." He turned toward Eli. "I'm sorry, kid. I should have protected you." "That's what we're supposed to do." The judge pounded his gavel. "Order, Officer Daniels, are you making an admission?" "Yes, Your Honor," he said firmly. "And I'm willing to testify." The courtroom exploded in noise, reporters scrambling, lawyers shouting. Grace held her son tightly, whispering, "See, baby, truth always comes out." Over the next hour, Daniels detailed everything: the orders, the fear, the silence that followed. By the end of it, the two senior officers were arrested for assault and obstruction. The case would go down as one of the most powerful examples of courage and conscience the city had seen. But that wasn't the real ending. The real ending came weeks later. A community fundraiser was held for Eli's education. People who had never met him showed up: teachers, firefighters, police officers, families, even the mayor. Daniels, now suspended and awaiting trial for his part, came too. He approached Eli quietly, holding a small box. "I can't undo what I saw," he said softly, "but I can promise I'll never stay silent again." He handed Eli his police badge. "Keep it. Maybe one day you'll wear one of your own, and do it better than we ever did." Eli smiled shyly. "I will, but only if I get to make the rules fair." Daniel smiled. "Then the world's in good hands." As the sun set that evening, Grace stood with her arm around her son, watching him laugh with the other kids. The bruises had faded, but the courage in his eyes had not. Reporters would later write about the boy who silenced the court. They'd call it justice. But to Grace, it wasn't about courtrooms or headlines. It was about one small voice that chose truth over fear, forgiveness over anger. And to the people who were there that day, they would never forget how a trembling child's words, "The cops beat me," cracked open the walls of silence and revealed something stronger than hate: the power of innocence, love, and grace. Because sometimes the bravest thing a person can do isn't to fight, it's to forgive.